The global financial crisis and ensuing recession has delivered a blow to the city of Round Rock and other local governments across the state and nation. Sales tax revenues are down as consumers have tightened their purse strings, and commercial growth has been stifled by turmoil in the credit markets. Unlike many other communities, Round Rock's property values have pretty much held their own in these tough economic times. All these factors influence our proposed budget for the 2009-2010 fiscal year. But because of prudent planning and conservative actions by our City Council, the city isn't wondering how to make ends meet as we work on next year's budget. The city's budget plan looks to continue the transition from a Dell-dominated, sales tax-driven financial model to one that's a more traditional mix of revenues. The Dell effect, as we call it, has been a significant benefit to the city's property taxpayers ever since the company began operations here in 1994. But Dell's sales tax revenues have been declining the past 3 years, and our plans for managing that downturn have held us in good stead, even in the face of the worst recession in decades. By aggressively controlling costs and reshaping our revenue model, we will deliver the services our citizens have told us they want while remaining one of the most affordable communities in Central Texas. Dell's impact on the City of Round Rock budget has been so positive over the past 15 years, we sometimes refer to it as the Dell dividend. It works like this. Anytime Dell sells a computer or other product via the web or catalog in the state of Texas, that generates local sales tax revenue to the City of Round Rock. So when someone in Dallas buys a Dell laptop or server online, 2% of the taxable sale comes to Round Rock. The Dell dividend has produced some remarkable benefits over time to the city. Our property tax rate was 62.5 cents per $100 of valuation in 1992. Today, it's 36.5 cents. Our bond rating has been upgraded 5 times, from an A- in 1992 to a AA+ in 2009. That means lower interest rates on our loans. Our fund balance, or rainy day fund, has grown from $4.3 million to more than $40 million. Our levels of service have expanded significantly, and many Dell employees have become active in our community. Dell sales tax revenues grew so rapidly, we created a policy to keep the city from becoming overly reliant on that revenue stream for daily operations. In 2003, the City Council made diversifying our sales tax revenues a strategic priority, and we successfully recruited destination retailers like Round Rock Premium Outlets and IKEA. These stores draw customers from well outside our community, thus importing sales tax revenue much like Dell. A key result of capping our reliance on Dell revenue for daily operations was the creation of a self-financed capital fund. In those years when Dell exceeded budget projections, we used that revenue to pay for capital items that most cities have to borrow money to finance. For example, we used $18 million from the self-financed capital fund to help pay for a state-of-the-art police headquarters. Over the past 15 years, our policy has produced $45 million in cash for capital purchases. Had we issued debt for those purchases, our tax rate would be 10 cents higher than it is today. So as Dell sales tax revenue grew, our property tax rate shrank. While Round Rock is the most reliant city in the state on sales tax revenue, we have one of the lowest property tax rates for cities our size. The benefit to our property owners here has been considerable. Take, for example, a home in Chisholm Valley that was valued at $57,575 in 1992, before Dell came to Round Rock. Its tax bill back then was $360. Today, the tax bill has gone up less than $100, while the home has doubled in value. For the past 3 years, though, Dell's revenue to the city has been declining. To counter that decline in revenue and maintain the levels of service our citizens have told us they want, last year the City Council began a deliberate strategy of transitioning our revenue model to one that's more traditional for local government. That is, one that relies more on property taxes than sales taxes. Sales tax revenue makes up 57% of our current budget. Property taxes, on the other hand, make up 20%. For most cities, those numbers are reversed. This year's budget proposal calls for continuing the transition, with property taxes making up 24% of overall revenues. In future years, our plan is to continue to decrease reliance on sales tax revenue. So what does all this mean to you, a homeowner? Under the proposed tax rate of 39.7 cents, the owner of an average value home would pay $720 in city taxes, or $43 more than last year. Because of declining revenues, the proposed budget calls for reduced expenditures. Our general fund budget proposal calls for spending $2.1 million less than the current budget. Our employees will be going without pay increases, and many vacant positions will go unfilled as long as possible without impacting levels of service. We've formalized our cost-cutting efforts this year, and a team of employees identified $220,000 in savings. We are also in the early stages of implementing a technology upgrade plan to further streamline our processes and grow our ability to deliver services online. Finally, a grant coordinator was brought on staff this year to help us identify other funding sources to pay for needed services and programs. Even though we are reducing expenditures, we will deliver on service levels citizens told us they wanted when we engaged the public in a long-term planning process in 2006. Nearly 600 residents turned out for a series of public meetings and gave us their preferences for levels of service. They wanted to see upgrades in public safety and infrastructure, and we've delivered. Our 7th fire station opened in 2007, and our fire service rating was upgraded, which should result in lower insurance premiums. We've continued to add new patrol officers to the police department and have civilianized some functions to keep uniformed officers on the street. We've completed new road projects and are about to begin construction on a major utility project that will deliver water from Lake Travis to our customers here in Round Rock. In the public meetings, we did more than just ask folks what they wanted. We also asked how they wanted to pay for it. Most wanted to see increased user fees, and 2/3 said they were willing to pay more property taxes. We believe this budget proposal delivers on our citizens' input while taking continued steps to maintain our fiscal sustainability. Our long-term planning and conservative financial practices have served Round Rock well over the past 2 decades, and we believe this year is no exception, especially if you compare us to other cities in the area. Our property tax rate remains one of the lowest in Central Texas, and our utility rates, even with a planned 6% increase, are also among the lowest in the area. But the affordable rates don't mean we're sacrificing quality of life. Through surveys, our citizens tell us they are mostly pleased with our efforts, and Money Magazine last year ranked Round Rock the #7 best place to live in America. We are still among the safest cities in the country, and we were #6 on Kiplinger's list of best places to live, work, and play. Even in the midst of recession, we are able to continue our long-term financial strategies, hold the line on spending, and deliver the quality services our citizens expect. Here's the schedule for approvals and public hearings on the 2009-2010 budget and tax rate. For more information, go to roundrocktexas.gov/budget.